Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Two people joining in from various locations. Good evening, Ravi, to you as well, joining us from Mumbai. Yet another very interesting session for Coffee Chat. We do a virtual coffee chat every month, just to give a quick round of introduction. And that's streamed live on Zoom and LinkedIn Live. So largely for LinkedIn Live is what we focus on. And we get people from all across the globe. Uh, the format is pretty simple. We try and deep dive into subject that we intend to focus on. So far, over the last 2 years, we have done various topics on experience, technology, AI, impact, social, whatnot. And this time, when I reached out to you, I thought it would be an interesting take on kitchen appliances, right? I've been reading about you for quite a few months, and I've been after you to kind of come on this chat and maybe share the best of the stories that you have to tell to the world. So thank you so much for joining in, Ravi. This is live, and people would be listening to us, and then obviously there'll be further sessions or quick bites that will be rolling out for audiences. The subject is very simple but very, very interesting. $250 billion market, kitchen appliances from India to the world. Uh, you know, we will talk more, but let's get quickly started with your introduction. I know a lot of people in the industry who understand kitchen appliances, they know about it, but from horse's mouth, it's altogether different experience. And I'm sure that there will be few people who wouldn't have heard your Josh talk and other talks that you have had at various forums. So let's get started. It's going to be 1 hour. Let's try and make it crisp and interesting for the audiences. Here you go, all yours.
Perfect. So thank you, Kapil, for making this happen, and honored. Lovely speaking to the global audience. I can see a lot of people here, a lot more also on LinkedIn. So the pressure is on me. So yeah, a bit about myself. My name is Ravi Saxena. I originally hail from Delhi. Now, for the last 30 years or so, I've been working in Mumbai. Classic Delhi profile, DPSRKpuram, Delhi Engineering College, Electronics Engineering. And then I went to IIM Ahmedabad in the batch of 93. So it's been about 31 years of working. And by the grace of God, I think I have had a brilliant career. Personally, I'm very happy about it. It's never been a career which was easy, but it was never short of excitement. It was always full of pressure right to this day. And I think I would not have it any other way. I loved it. So one of the first experiences I had was building a company in India from scratch. And I mentioned this because that somehow became the foundation for me starting a wonderful kitchen appliances company, Wonder Chef, some time back. So this company that I started way back in India in 1994 is called Sodexo. Today, a lot of people have heard of it. At that time, when I joined this company in France and I convinced them to come to India, nobody had heard the name. People could not pronounce this strange name. Somebody would say Sodexo, somebody would say Glaxo, but nobody could pronounce Sodexo. It was into a very strange business called meal vouchers. Nobody understood what is a meal voucher. Today, you ask anybody in India, a lot of happy memories are associated with meal vouchers. कि हाँ वो हमें बुकलेट मिलता था और हम जाके उसको खर्च देते थे, and we used to have our ice creams or groceries or stuff like that. So yeah, I created that business in India. But that was only the first business of Sodexo that I made, which a lot of people know. But I built 5 other businesses of Sodexo in India, and one of those businesses was food service. So food service means managing corporate kitchens and catering. So we would manage the large kitchens in a huge factory like a Hyundai factory or a Samsung factory or a Maruti factory and serve food to people. We would also manage food for IT and BPO companies where thousands of people are working and are short of time. They want good food, they want hygienic food. So that's the business that Sodexo corporatized. It made it organized in India. And thanks to that, I got exposure to food directly, equipment and food. Today, I can proudly say that the company that I started alone, and for 2 years, I was running around the country totally alone for Sodexo, convincing people about the idea of vouchers, about the idea of corporate catering. Today, this company has more than 130,000 employees, 130,000 employees in India alone. And it's a leader in each one of the five businesses that I started. And after that, I had the experience to build hotels, restaurants, coffee chains, and other hospitality businesses, wherein again I got in touch with equipment and the customer. And that is where an idea started germinating in my mind that I am using the best quality professional equipment from all across the globe. And I spent a lot of time personally in France and Italy. And you would all know that these two countries are known for their food culture. You know, they love their food and their food is popular around the world. They have written the grammar of food. And I would stay at homes, I would visit my friends at their homes, and I would see the kind of equipment they would use at home. And when I would come back to India, I would see that we are still using very old style cookware where the coating goes bad, handles come off, or we are using very old style mixer grinders, steel jars. We cannot see what is happening inside. We are not using any food prep equipment. If you all remember, the classic image of a sad Indian lady used to be she is chopping onion in the kitchen and tears are flowing. And you don't know the metaphor is that she is sad in life or it's because of the onions. प्याज काटने का चॉपर भी नहीं था हमारे यहाँ पे. So I realized this gap and I thought to myself that I have now built about 10 different businesses for different multinationals. Why don't I start a business of my own wherein I can try to change what is happening in the Indian kitchen? Can we upgrade what is happening? And that became the tenet, that became the basis of founding Wonder Chef. But always, as we will all agree, that building a new company, building a new brand is difficult. You need a lot of cash to sink in so that you can break the clutter and be known as the brand. My style of doing business was that I will never put the company or survival at risk. So I thought, how can I assure survival that I don't have to burn too much cash and yet we break the clutter, we build a brand. And that's when I said to Chef Sanjeev Kapoor that, look, this is my plan. And do you want to become my brand ambassador and partner? And he had heard of my reputation in what I did in Sodexo. I had also built restaurants with his brand as the franchisee brand called Yellow Chili and Khazana in my second stint. So he knew what I was capable of, and thankfully, kind of him that being such a huge celebrity, he agreed. And that's how we became partners and we became friends forever. And today I know him for the last 18 years, and I think we have loved each other's company and each other's work. So that is the story of Wonder Chef. That's how we began. Today, Wonder Chef has about 400 different appliances and cookware in our portfolio, and it's the leading brand in India for kitchenware, which is leading the thought of this industry, leading the change in this industry, leading the way people use their equipment to make their life simpler at home. So yeah,
Oh,
that's a bit of a background, Kapil.
no, absolutely. I think I've been following your journey for a while now. And who wouldn't know Sodexo in today's corporate world? Because from meal vouchers to card to their day-to-day life, right? I still remember when I used to work, we would go to a supermart and say that Sodexo accept karoge kya, right? So, and everybody would say that yes, Sodexo is accepted here for your day-to-day needs, so on and so forth. So I think a great product being built and scaled, tweaked for Indian market needs, right? So I know Sodexo in Europe. In fact, we did work with Sodexo for some of the programs a few years back in Europe because that's also part of their social security needs, right? So each and every market is a different product. So I think great to know about that, and then to this entire altogether a new journey. See, there are people who think of it, there are people who start, and then there are people who sustain. I think Wonderchef is one such journey, 400 plus products. I was actually reading the latest one as well, which is Roti Magic, which are built largely for the global markets, competing head on with an early mover product which was there, and your star product, which is NutriBlend, right? So I think a phenomenal work being done there. Having said that, I believe you are just at the tip of the iceberg, right? So the market is huge. It's a 250 plus $1 billion market, uh, and India is contributing predominantly till now. India's market has also been overshadowed by players who have come in from outside. Correct? There have been very few India brands or Indian brands that have kind of been able to leave the mark on this market. What is your take on India's growing role as well as opportunities for the brands from India, within India, and outside India? What do you see it? Because you have spent more than 10 years now selling the entire range of products that you have, both in India, and now I see that there's a lot which is going to the US as well. So, what's your take on this growth story and opportunities?
Yeah, no, very insightful question, Kapil, and I would love to share a deeper perspective on this. So look, yeah, the global market of kitchenware is $250 billion. It's a lot of zeros. So a lot of us, including me, can't fathom what is $250 billion. It's just a huge amount of money. The Indian share of that market is barely 2%. Okay, so Indian market today, kitchen market is about $5 billion. $5 billion is a number we can understand in crores. So for the benefit of our users, I'll explain. It's about 45,000 crore rupees of market per annum. Not a bad size, but just 2.5% of the global market. And why is it so? It's because in India, we are still struggling a lot with the basic needs. So branded products are still not all pervasive. Okay, everybody needs to eat, so wheat and rice are consumed by everybody. A lesser number of people consume education. Even lesser number of people consume toothpaste or packaged soap. And a far fewer percentage of people consume branded kitchen appliances. Okay, everyone needs to eat. So yeah, people are cooking, but they can cook in a simple iron plate also. So the idea is about a bit of lifestyle, but more about health. That how can we promote health through cooking? And that is the basic conviction that I had while starting Wonderchef. That food is health. We are what we eat right, live healthy. People think that going to the gym means health, but if I do a raise of hands and ask how many people go to the gym at least 4 times a week, I don't think there'll be too many hands up right now. But how many people eat 3 meals a day? Every single hand would be up. So food is what impacts our health the most. Second comes walking or gymming or yoga or whatever. And this is something that we can control. If we eat healthy, cook healthy, our health will be better. And more importantly, if we eat ghar ka khana, if we cook at home, health is bound to be better than having delivered food or restaurant food all the time. It's basic maths, calories, and how much we burn. So my idea was that we should make cooking fun, we should make cooking easy, and we should make cooking a matter of pride. Because cooking should not be considered a chore that a homemaker has to do. Instead, it is something that she does proudly, where she is feeding her family with love and she's taking care of their health, almost like a doctor, a family doctor. And that is the idea that Wonderchef worked on, and we created all those kind of products. Now the question is, what is India's role in the global market? I would say that India's role, accounting for only 2% of the turnover, was very limited. But now it is growing important, and it is going to be very important in coming years. And let me explain why. The reason is that Today, technology has entered the kitchen. Earlier, kitchen appliances used to be cookware, mixer grinder, toaster, at best a microwave, dishwasher. But today, people are looking for food prep solutions more and more. Kapil spoke about the roti maker. I think we have a far more exciting product which is new, which is called Chef Magic. And that is really a revolutionary product. Why? Because today there is a growing need for cooking food easily at home. Why has that need emerged? Need has emerged because today we are more and more busy in our lives. We are more and more busy because today we are attacked by two revolutions, which knowingly or unknowingly have happened in the last 5 to 7 years of our life. One is social media. So imagine when there was no WhatsApp or Facebook, how much free time did we used to have? Today, I guarantee to you, see the usage in your mobile, you will find that any one of us, bar none, are spending 2 to 3 hours on WhatsApp. Now tell me that out of the waking 16 hours a day, and then we have to work also, we have to eat also, we have to meet family and friends also. So the free time that we used to have for ourselves, maybe 3 4 hours, if we are spending 3 hours out of that on WhatsApp, then how much time is really left? So life has become very busy because of social media. And second revolution, which is even newer, is OTT. Today, everything was on tap. Everything is on demand. So earlier OTT was not there. When I was a kid, we used to wait for Doordarshan Sunday movie to watch a movie. Then came cable TV. Okay. Then came DTH, direct to home TV. And today with OTT, everything was in demand. Today we don't have enough time in our life to be able to watch enough movies and the content which is out there on Netflix and Prime and Hotstar and whatnot. I mean, it's incredible and high quality content. अब ऐसे समय में खाना बनाने का टाइम तो मिलता ही नहीं है. So we have introduced a device called Chef Magic, जिसमें अपने आप खाना बन जाता है. So basically you can just put the ingredients, press the button, and come back and start watching your movie or start working on your laptop or start interacting with your friends. And on your mobile, it will keep informing you कि अब ये काम इतना हो गया. अब next step में go and put 50 gram masala or oil or water, and you go there. So basically, a dish which may take about an hour to cook, your engagement in the kitchen is only 5 minutes. Moreover, it is not like a one-pot meal that you just put everything and it will cook and there is a limitation. There is no limitation to what you can cook. Recipes have been stored inside, and you can choose any recipe that you want to make, and it will cook the same way, which is the classic process, just like a master chef would make it. So it's not that it's a hack. There's no hack. It will cook like a master chef would cook, like you would cook at home, like your dadi or nani or ma would cook at home. It cooks the same way. But it's just that it is doing every operation by itself. Temperature, time, speed, heat level, all are controlled. So the dish never goes bad. So what is the corollary? That even somebody who doesn't know how to cook at all can cook. And that is the most powerful idea. So it is true gender equality. In a lot of cases, Indian men get away by saying, "Bhai, mujhe to khana banana aata hi nahi. How can I help you in the kitchen?" But now there is no excuse because you say Chef Magic hai na, koi bhi dish choose karo, keep following the instructions, keep pressing run, khana apne aap ban jayega. Just take responsibility and you can cook the food. So it is a revolutionary device. Now, why am I explaining that in context of India's role in the global kitchen market? Because such devices are technology driven. Such devices are IoT driven, they are AI driven. And as you all know, there is no other country with a better and a more cost effective base of engineering talent than India. The reason why we have launched this device in US and why we are being successful is because our costs are Indian. So when I invest in my tech team to develop the app, when I invest in the reverse engineering of the best recipes to fit into this device, when my chefs add 10 new recipes every week, because it's an IoT device, so every week we keep adding recipes and the product keeps getting enriched. When I have a customer center to interact with users globally around the world. When somebody says, I want training and I can organize a 1 hour personalized virtual demo, I can do it at Indian costs. You cannot do it at American costs. And we speak English. So wherever Indians are there, wherever global audience is there, Western Europe, USA, Canada, even Latin America, we are able to target them because we are good in technology, we are good in service, and we are cost effective as a country. And which is why I feel that today the time has come that India will play a greater and greater role in this $250 billion market, far bigger than the Indian market itself.
No, absolutely. I think return on investment is also going to be higher in that case because the paying capacity is on a higher side, and then you are competing with the players who are selling in dollars and making in dollars for that matter. I think
Absolutely.
it's pretty logical, and again, I feel that it won't take much longer time that we took to come here from here to maybe 10% of the overall market share and beyond because one, the faster pace of innovation with which Indian companies are kind of building such products for global market, and more so from the fact that wherever you go in the world, they certainly look for uh, solutions that can cater to their day-to-day needs. For example, when I was in the US a few months back, a good friend and their family were using devices and equipments in kitchen that could save them time. It's not that they were late for office or they were going to office, even though they were working from home, they need to make sure that they've got equipments that can help and aid them
Yeah,
save
you want
time and
quality of
efficiency.
life. You want quality of
Absolutely.
life. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that's very, very interesting. Uh, you very interestingly also spoke about smart appliances, and you spoke about chef magic, and I'm like, it's exciting to know that okay, you just put in ingredients, you have got the recipe coming in from the best in business, chef Sanjeev Kapoor. I'm like, everybody knows him, right? And in fact, I in your earlier part you also mentioned that in fact you opened franchisee for his kitchen and restaurants as well, right? So from a smart products perspective, one, obviously the consumer preferences are changing. The products are also continuously coming in, and there are a lot of choices. How do you ensure that there is a balance between the product, technology, smartness that it brings, as well as it keeps the entire ecosystem pretty balanced? So the eco-friendly products, how do you kind of innovate within Wonder Chef to make sure that you meet all these aspects when it comes to rolling out a product and meeting consumer demands?
Look, I'll go back to the example of my first job, even before Sodexo,
Mhm.
because that job told me how important is just one person in this entire journey of building any company, building any brand, and that is the consumer.
Mhm.
So my first job was with a company called Blowplast in those days. It was VIP luggage. Now every Indian knows VIP luggage. It was a near monopoly in India before Samsonite and American Tourister and Delzi came to India. So this was 1993. I just passed out of my MBA college, and I joined Blowplast or VIP luggage as the brand manager of Skybags, which was the soft luggage brand. Today everybody knows Skybags, but let me remind you that in 1993, Skybags was a 10 crore brand. That's it. And it was just about 2% of the company's turnover. So nobody thought much about it. I was given this as a challenge. And almost it was a challenge because somebody told me कि तू बड़ा IIM अहमदाबाद वाला बनता है ना इसलिए तेरे को दिया है कि दिखा तू क्या कर सकता है मतलब ऑलमोस्ट लाइक दिस थिंग कि भाई IIM वालों के चिप ऑन दी शोल्डर होता है तो देखते हैं कि क्या क्या कर सकते हो. So it was my first job. I had no idea of sales or marketing, but I did what every marketer should do. I just hit the road and started meeting my network, that is distributors and dealers and consumers across India. And very quickly I learned कि हम ये प्रोडक्ट को गलत तरीके से बेच रहे हैं. वी आर सेलिंग ए रॉन्ग प्रोडक्ट टू द रॉन्ग ऑडियंस. Nobody wanted to buy soft luggage. Reason was simple. 99% of India at that time was traveling by train. और soft luggage कोई भी blade लगा के काट सकता था, गीला हो जाता था, गंदा हो जाता था. You cannot wash it. So it was a wrong product. So I came back and said, product is wrong for the rail audience. But I had heard that some airlines were coming up. East West Airline, Damania Airways, Modiluft, and Jet Airways. These four private airlines were coming up. And I said, this product can be relevant to their customers. So I went to them, I did some marketing deals and tie-ups with them. And the small marketing budget that I had, that started giving 10 times the ROI just because I targeted the right audience. Then I took it to the next level. I said, let me understand how people abroad are using these products. Now today, almost every third Indian is traveling abroad. We are not so fascinated by the Western people. But remember, 30 years back, hardly very few people had gone abroad. Okay. हम लोग हाथ की रेखा देखते थे, भाई बाहर जाने की रेखा है कि नहीं अपने हाथ में. मैं भी देखता था. So I didn't go abroad for this research. All I did was that I went to the international airport and I
Absolutely.
stood outside the airport in Bombay and I saw कि ये गोरा लोग कैसे travel कर रहे हैं. And to my shock and surprise, they were coming out with very smart luggage जिसके अंदर trolley बनी हुई थी and they would just be pulling that trolley. Now, can you believe that at that time, India did not have a trolley luggage? As the monopoly brand VIP did not have a concept of a trolley luggage even in the works. So I went around whole of Bombay, Hira Panna market, which is like Palika Bazaar of Delhi. उस जमाने में imported माल सिर्फ वहाँ मिलता था. I found a trolley bag, brought it to my company, ripped it apart with a topaz blade, and convinced my company to invest in the development of a trolley bag. And I launched it as VIP trolley. बहुत से लोगों को यहाँ पे मालूम होगा VIP trolley. That became the generic name for trolley bags in India. आज भी एक कस्टमर जाके बोलता है भैया वो trolley वाला बैग देना, you know. So VIP trolley, that small bag with a trolley, first bag in India with an inbuilt trolley, turned around the fortunes of VIP. Okay, and Sky Bags, within the next 4 years, I left the company to join Sodexo and build Sodexo. But within the next 4 years, this single bag with trolley became more than 50% of the sale of the entire company. What was my learning in all this? My learning in all this was listen to the consumer. And Kapil, for all the long question that you asked, that is a simple answer. We listen to the consumer. What do they need? So when we invented NutriBlend, which has become an industry in its own right, last year alone, we have sold more than 200 crores of one single product, which is NutriBlend in WonderChef.
Wow.
Okay. It accounts for 25% of our turnover. What did I do? I went to the consumers. I said, आप लोग मिक्सी यूज करते हो. सबसे बड़ा मार्केट किचन अप्लायंसेस में मिक्सर ग्राइंडर होता था 10 years ago. I said, what is your pain point? क्या आपको अच्छा चाहिए? क्या ड्रीम करते हो आप? In short, people said something which is more compact, something where we don't have to stand with our hand on the lid कि वो fly off ना कर जाए, and most importantly, something where we can see inside what is happening. Otherwise, वो ढक्कन खोल खोल के देखना पड़ता है कि मसाला हो गया, चटनी बन गई कि नहीं बन गई.
Correct.
Result was NutriBlend, which was a very smart, compact, but very powerful mixer grinder with transparent, unbreakable jars, and it's screw top jars so they don't fly away. Okay, and it has become the #1 mixer grinder in India as a single brand. So the answer is consumer. Listen to the consumer. They will tell you what they need, and sometimes they don't tell you what they need because they don't know what is the possible technology, which is something like a chef magic, which we have created, which no one could have conceptualized. We just worked for 4 years. We took some inspirations from the best practices around the world. We created it. Something like our soup maker. Now, in the pandemic, soup and salad became the staple food because everyone started the drive to stay healthy. So now making a soup at home takes about 90 minutes. But what we did was we created a soup maker. You just put in your vegetables, press a button, in 20 minutes, rich, fiber-rich soup is ready. It is tasty, and you have a hot soup in 20. So these are the kind of things we do. These are the kind of moats we build for our organization. And that is what has kept Wonder Chef ahead of the curve.
Super, that's very interesting. And we'll continue to take some questions as well. So I have one question from the audience, and the question is, how easy or difficult has it been to actually orient the Indian mindset towards gender neutrality in cooking? Considering that even till date it is considered to be a woman's role. Possibly the question is coming from a woman, but that's the question. So what's
Yeah.
your take on market being gender sensitive or gender neutral when it comes to cooking?
Yeah, very interesting question. Thank you for asking it. Look, my perspective has always been being modern, giving something to the audience, to my consumer, what they have not discovered as yet. And gender neutrality in India was one such idea. Because as you rightly said, this is something where India is lacking behind the world, at least behind the Western world.
Yeah.
Indian men are not taught by their moms how to cook. And what is happening now, though, is that even Indian girls are not being taught by moms how to cook. And that is the best thing to happen. Because when I was growing up, हमारे घर में अक्सर ये डायलॉग होता था कि बेटा, हमारी बहन को बोला जाता था, बेटा खाना बनाना सीख लो वरना ससुराल में जाके हमारी नाक कटाओगी. Today my daughter is 27. We never dared to say anything like that to her. Okay. And though we know that in the future her husband may or may not how to cook, but we can't tell. So this generation of aware parents, our generation, for example, whose kids were born in the 90s or 2000s, so they are called millennial kids. I would call us millennial parents. So millennial parents are also more aware, and we didn't pressurize our girls to learn cooking. If anybody learned, girl or boy, they learned out of their own passion, their own preference. So I think that is one thing which is creating gender neutrality. Wonder Chef has played its own role in doing that. If you check out Instagram or check out on YouTube, Dear Man, Hold the Pan. So we did this extremely interesting series called Dear Man, Hold the Pan, where we went around asking men all across India that how much do they understand about food. And I can tell you results were very funny, but very disastrous. 90% of the men did not understand anything about the kitchen. But today, I can tell you the boys are getting more and more aware. They know that they have to be equal partners. And not only in tier one towns or metros in India, but I see this even in tier two, tier three cities. When I visit homes of our partners, distributors, our relatives, I see that their boys are as eager to help out their mom as the girls in their home. And I think this is a very welcome change. I think one more generation and we will see complete, just like in the West, to the extent we see, India will also see gender neutrality. And we are doing our own thing. You know why Chef Magic has become so popular in a short while? I would invite everybody to see the YouTube video, our ad of Chef Magic. It's a 2-minute film where I personally wrote every single word of that because I wanted to give the message of gender neutrality. And people have simply loved that idea. It has more than 140 lakh views. Okay, and we have not spent any money on this. It has just gone viral, 1 crore 40 lakh views because the idea struck a chord somewhere, because the idea of gender neutrality touched. That in short, I can tell you that the setting is an arranged marriage, a meeting is happening. The girl's family has come to the boy's house to meet him, and the girl asks the boy, कि राहुल आपको तो खाना बनाना आता है ना?
That's
And there is
interesting.
no more powerful messaging than that.
That's very, very interesting. I think that's an apt question and a very apt answer to the question as well. And it looks like it's pretty much engraved in the way you have kind of crafted the brand. Moving on to next, but very interesting question that I wanted to throw at you. Building a brand is always a very, very difficult thing. Now, particularly in a very crowded market. Second thing, when you already know that there are incumbents and strong incumbents in the market, right? How did you go about positioning, Wonder Chef as a product? I have learned through all my experience that either you could do product innovation, you could do distribution innovation, or you could do pricing innovation, right? So to kind of, stay ahead of the curve. But when you define Wonderchef as a brand, what's your positioning, in market, and how do you combat these challenges of incumbents in place and obviously internationally known brands?
Sure. So you said three things. I think we played on all the three because we were a brand in a hurry. The brand is barely 10-year-old. We are in the 10th year. And in 10 years, the way we have come, no other brand in India in our industry has become so big in 10 years of operation. In fact, they have taken 30 to 40 years to reach the size that we have reached already. And the answer is all the three: distribution innovation, product innovation, and pricing innovation. So distribution means, and I see there is a question on the chat saying, how is product discovery happening for Wonderchef? Because it was also seen at a home center. So yes, we are an omni-channel brand. And by omni-channel, I do not mean only offline and online. We are present in 10 different channels of business, 10 different. No other brand in any industry is present in so many channels of distribution. So we are there online. About 25% sales happen online. We are there in mom and pop stores, the multi-brand outlets, as we call them, general trade. We are in about 14,500 general trade outlets. We are in all the modern trade doors. So home center is one of them, but we are there in home center, Walmart, Metro, Reliance, Chroma, everywhere. So about 3,000 doors or 3,000 department stores outlets. We are there in army canteens. We are there in police canteens. We are there on TV shopping. We are there in exports. We are there in corporate gifting. And very interestingly, we are also there with a direct sales network of women entrepreneurs. So 85,000 women entrepreneurs are associated with us. And very interestingly, they are in remote corners of India where retail has still not reached, like Northeast. I have thousands of sales partners in Northeast where you would not find a home center or a Shoppers Stop or a Reliance store. But our women entrepreneurs from Tripura to Meghalaya to Mizoram to Arunachal Pradesh, they are there. 10 kilometers from the border of China, you can find a lady selling Wonderchef products or a man selling Wonderchef products to his neighbors and friends. So it has taken a lot. It has taken a lot of hard work, and I salute my team for taking on such challenge and delivering on it. So this was distribution innovation. Product innovation, I have already spoken enough about. We have always been ahead of the curve. We have brought every single new concept to India, whether it was our colored cookware. Cookware used to be black and boring. Wonderchef was the first one to bring colors in cookware. And I remember that a lot of our customers used to carry their kitchen laminate for reference to our stores, saying, "Mujhe ye wale color ka pan chahiye." So this is the variety of colors. And we invented the non-stick colored coating because people thought non-stick coating can only be black. We worked on it for 2 years and we invented colored coating, which was even more stable and reliable than black coating. Then we brought the first gas oven tandoor of India, the first cold press juicer of India, and so many firsts, including the first roti maker and the chef magic and soup maker. And now we have a full repertoire of coffee machines because I believe that India is ready for coffee at home. I went to a small town and the question I was asked was not whether you will have tea or coffee, but do you like coffee? I said, yeah. What kind of coffee would you like? And I was thinking which city I am in, and I was in Jabalpur. And I said, what kind of coffee? I am a coffee expert, but okay. I said, what kind of coffee do you have? Yeah, we can give you Americano or cappuccino or macchiato or latte. What do you prefer? I said, what kind of machine do you have? He said, I have this machine from Italy and this and that. And I said, my God, people are buying 2 lakh, 3 lakh worth of Italian machines. I launched 10 coffee machines. Okay. And from a French press to a fully automatic coffee maker. And last year, I would love to share with all of you because I'm proud of this revolution which we are helping India to gain. I have sold 75,000 coffee machines last year. So yes, product innovation. And third is the pricing innovation. Now I want to spend a minute on that. Pricing innovation does not mean cheap pricing. Not at all. We are not a cheap brand. We are a rather premium brand. And yet I say we have done pricing innovation because you have to deliver something more if you are charging higher price. So if I am 20% higher price than my competition, I have to deliver 50% higher value. Now that value will be in terms of my quality, in terms of my warranty, and in terms of my weight. In case you're talking about a pan, for example, it will be a heavier pan so that you feel the right kind of weight. But in terms of quality, in terms of features, I'll be 50% higher, but I will charge 20% more. So yes, there is pricing innovation also. So all the innovation has to come together: distribution, product, pricing, and customer service. Because in consumer durables, customer service is the most important thing. People often ask, ये नहीं पूछते कि ये महंगा है, पूछते हैं कि कस्टमर सर्विस ठीक है, because they know कि ड्यूरेबल में स्पेशली आग पे जो चीज चढ़ रही है, कोई ना कोई प्रॉब्लम आएगी. But the company has to be honest and reliable and stand behind the brand, and then the customer backs you.
No, I think that's very, very interesting. And, I'm bombarded with questions both here and on LinkedIn. So, I will continue to mix and keep moving forward on our charter. And I just don't realize that, I would say that I just did not realize that it's already 45 minutes and we just have 15 minutes to go and I have a long list, but very, very exciting. Now, coming from India, you have seen the entire, I think, set of preferences changing in Indian market, correct? From middle class to lower middle class to now, evolving consumer habits, right? What are you seeing? Is that now becoming a challenge for you to continue to innovate at a faster pace, or you think that you are ready? And what is the trigger behind India as a country kind of, rapidly moving towards such changes? Because India is a huge country for that matter, and obviously a market of interest for everybody. And that is why a lot of brands are also coming to India. Even now, also they are coming and launching. And then there are new startups who are solving for specific problem areas. So, how do you think as a brand, you are kind of readying yourself for this change in terms of the brand readiness as well as meeting the consumer behavior and demand? Because that's continuously changing. What worked really well in past, like for example, you said juicer, mixer, grinder. Today you have NutriBlend, and that's your star product, right? So, and that means that the demand or the behavior is changing. And what used to change once in 10 years or 15 years, today it's changing maybe say every year, every 2 or 3 years. What's your take on this in terms of being ready for this change?
Yeah, the environment is very challenging. There is no doubt. There's increasing competition. People are eating away each other's market share. And yet in this market, we are growing by 20% per year on year for the last many years. And we are the only brand of scale which is growing at that pace. Most of our bigger competitors, listed companies, are stagnant. And I think that's because we do all these things that you listed out: listening to the consumer, being very nimble on our feet, not over-analyzing, launching the products, backing them up with full training and support and service, convincing our network partners that this can work, putting the right kind of marketing dollars behind it, and training the consumers. So I'll give you one example. When we launched this Chef Magic, we knew that customers will need hand-holding because it's a technology-based product. It can ease up their life, but they will also get anxious if they don't get the right kind of support. So I said to my team, let's build a community. My team was scared because, sometimes a customer can have problem and you solve their problem in isolation and everything remains quiet. If they're really upset, they can go to the social media, but we try that we give better service and this doesn't happen. But in a community, people can complain at the drop of a hat right away. So my team was scared. And I said, are you confident in the quality of your product? My team said, yes. I said, are you confident that you're honest and will give good service and be responsive? They said, yes. And I said, do not worry. And today we have about 3,000 people in that community who have bought Chef Magic within last 4 months. And yes, we are bombarded by questions 24/7 because 1/3 of my customers are in US or Canada. If you are in UK, some are in Australia, in Fiji, in Mauritius, in UAE, in Saudi. So
Wow.
we have all the time zones. So what we have done, we have opened a 24-hour call center also. That, okay, if anybody is there, any time of the day, they get their answers. And it's lovely because, customers are helping out each other. Somebody asks, hey, I'm getting this message. What does it mean? Some other customer would reply. That is the beauty of the community, that everyone becomes your evangelist. And this is a new experience for us. So I think we are on the forefront of innovation as a company, not just because we are technologically more advanced, but because we are willing to take risks, even in distribution and even in initiatives such as this.
Cool. I think this is very interesting. And on this point, I've just got a question from one of the audiences, and the question is, because you spoke about the serviceability and service being one of the differentiator, um, what's your philosophy on seamless customer experience post selling your products? Uh, and is there a differentiator that you have there as well, or you feel that from an experience perspective, initiatives like community and a 24/7 support has worked well for you, and you would continue to build upon it? And how have you done it so far?
Look, if we are a premium brand, we have to give a premium service as well. So we overinvest on service. Somebody has a problem, we replace the product more easily than any other brand. We try to service across India within 24 hours, if not 24, then 48 hours. Compared to the size of the company that we have, I think we have the largest number of feet on street when it comes to service, just so that customers are not troubled. We have specialized services for our distributors and dealers. So yeah, we do a lot of spending on service. Good thing is our overall spends are not high because product quality is good. So the replacement or service cases are far lesser than many of the other brands. But we overinvest in manpower to be able to do that.
Understand.
As far as community is concerned, I think community is there for special cases like Chef Magic, because for everything you can't have a community. Here people make recipes. They are proud of the fact that somebody, like just now I got a message and I was seeing my mobile. Somebody who has always cooked Indian food, and thanks to Chef Magic, they were able to cook Italian food. And then somebody else responded, "Hey, I'm cooking Chinese regularly because Chinese सब सोचते हैं थोड़ा chili chicken बना लिया हो गया." But to get the right Chinese at home, to get the restaurant-like taste at home with the right balance of soya sauce and vinegar is not that easy. How much corn flour, and Chef Magic also has this inbuilt weighing scale and all. So you always do it precisely, and the results are always fantastic. So customers are proud and sharing. So these things are reserved for special products, but otherwise, yeah, we pride ourselves in our service.
That's very interesting. And do you want to talk about a couple of matrices that you kind of measure regularly in terms of seeing whether the service index or product quality index is on track?
Yeah, of course. We every single day we measure how many cases are open. We have the tracker. We have the benchmarks that so many cases within 2 days, within 3 days, within 7 days. How many are open even after 7 days? What is the reason? So all the standard matrices. We have the CSAT scores, customer satisfaction scores. We have the messaging from the consumers, and plus we have a lot of outbound calling. So every time a customer purchases a premium product, anything which is above 10,000 rupees, a coffee machine or a cold press juicer or a chimney or a premium cooktop or a Chef Magic or a roti maker or a big OTG, we call them after a few days and ask them how's their experience going. Do they need any virtual demo? A lot of people say, no, I would like somebody to come home. And we are able to, and remember that I have this network of 85,000 women entrepreneurs who are our sales consultants. So we are able to send somebody trained at their home. And I think that is a big confidence for the consumer in investing in Wonderchef.
I think that's very interesting. I would obviously, on a separate note, would also touch base with your CX team also to see how they deep dive to kind of
Sure.
create those
And Kapil,
experiences.
why don't we take a couple of questions that I'm able to see on the chat here? And
Yes.
I'm tracking the chat of Zoom, but I'm not tracking LinkedIn. So
I
on
am on
Zoom, there is one
LinkedIn.
question: how many SKUs does Wonder Chef have, and does the Pareto principle 80-20 apply? So look, the beauty of the Pareto principle is that it applies to anything and
Yeah,
everything in life. Okay. So yeah, it does apply to us also. As I mentioned before, we have about 400 products. But yeah, out of 400 products, about 20% or 80 of them would account for about 80% of our turnover too. But you need to have a certain range of products to do justice to
absolutely.
your portfolio. Otherwise, everybody will just work with 20% products. And you know what? Again, Pareto would apply even to those 20%. So yeah, but as we grow in size, we are also bringing down our number of SKUs because we are able to see who the winners are and we are able to bet on the winners bigger.
Cool.
As a
For new
digital marketer,
questions, so
just
I would just chime
one
in
more
here.
question,
Yeah, go
Gagan.
ahead. Yeah, you can take that.
There is another question I think which is very relevant considering there are a lot of D2C brands coming up these days. Uh, uh, Somebody's interested in knowing if influencer marketing drives sales. Look, it's a choice one has to make. So yes, influencer marketing always helps. For us, influencer marketing does not have the same big role as in some new age industries like cosmetics, where I think the role of the influencer is far higher. Also, their investments are far higher. So in a pure D2C brand, the brand may invest almost 30 to 40% of their sale on digital marketing and about 50% of that spending on influencer marketing. You will be surprised to know that our spending on digital marketing is just about 6%. Okay. So it's not that we are burning a lot of cash on digital marketing. And yes, we do influencer marketing, but you know what? We have the biggest influencer of them all, which is Chef Sanjeev Kapoor
Absolutely.
with
Yeah.
us.
I was about to come to that, right? Because I don't think anybody can be a bigger influencer in this space than Mr. Sanjeev Kapoor that way. Uh, Now, taking that particular point to one of the questions that I wanted to kind of jump onto is when you're taking product global, obviously you need to have strategy around it. And see, when you are in India, you can obviously have affinity of being an Indian brand, and customers or consumers can connect to you. Having said that, when you are taking the product global, and by the way, congratulations on your recent fundraise for your global expansion. I think that's a great story. So when you take it to the US market, right? What's your approach? What is the approach that you are taking? Is it relying on celebrity endorsement, which is in this case, obviously your partner and Mr. Sanjeev Kapoor, or there is more to it that you are kind of thinking on when you are looking to expand into the US or other markets, specifically for interesting products that you have kind of recently launched?
So when we go abroad, our first set of customers is Indians abroad. Okay. I'm not imagining that suddenly the white Caucasian lady or a black lady or a Latino lady will start buying my product because they do not know my brand. And that brand trust is very important. So my first port of entry is the Indians who know Wonder Chef, who know Chef Sanjeev Kapoor, and our products are attuned to them. So if Chef Magic has 300 recipes today, about 200 of them are Indian recipes. The Chinese recipes are Indian Chinese recipes because that's what we love. But
Yeah.
Italian recipes are authentic Italian because, again, that is what we love. We don't like Indian Italian. So we know what is recipes and we know what is culinary skill, and we attune our recipes to that. But yes, our first port of entry is Indians. Interestingly, a lot of sales, about 20% of our sales, are happening to non-Indians there, to local American people, because they say that we love Indian food. And this machine can cook our food, which is because a lot of them like Italian and soups and all, which Chef Magic has. But if I go to one good Indian restaurant, I end up spending $200. So in 3 months' time, if even if I were to go once a month for 3 months, I pay for my machine. So they are buying to create Indian food themselves. And that is an amazing cultural revolution which is coming in the West because India and Indian bazaars and Indian masalas have come in the consciousness of the local American population. And I think it's a victory for India.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a very good and interesting figure to know that 20% of your sale figure or that's a good number. I have a question on LinkedIn, which is very interesting. What are basically what are kitchen appliances companies doing for energy efficiency, sustainable materials, and social impact of manufacturing? Is there anything on card to kind of take care of all these three aspects, which is being built like manufacturing interestingly manufacturing products that are high on energy efficiency, sustainable material. We all know that Apple of the world is kind of talking big about ESG and carbon neutral, and the social impact of the entire manufacturing aspect of building your products or making your products, creating a sustainable impact on society.
Yeah. So, good question. So, some of the things we already did 3 years back. We shifted to completely recycled packaging. Okay. Plus,
Wow.
we also started investing a share of our profits for planting trees. So that is the route we chose. But more than that, look, any appliance will have metal and it will have plastics. Okay. So the idea is to build appliances which last longer rather than use and throw kinds, which is what we do. And metal gets recycled easily, as you know, it's not eco-unfriendly. Plastics can be eco-unfriendly. So what we have also done, and it's a very interesting innovation again from Wonderchef, is that we have launched a service called Renewed on our website. So you know that in e-commerce, there are a lot of returns, right? Especially viewers from USA would know that 30 days, no questions asked return policy, which is used, misused, abused, but it is there. So a lot of returns are there, and these returns used to be junked earlier. Okay. What we have started is a renewed service, and the response is absolutely tremendous. I mean, we just started it 6 months ago, and I can tell you in this year alone, we will sell 10 crore rupees worth of renewed products. So rather than junking them and adding to the landfills, we'll be giving them at a very attractive price to our customers, and customers are quick to see value. They see it's a Wonderchef product, it's good as new, and it's still covered by 1 year warranty. So it's lesser than the 2 year warranty we otherwise give, but still it's covered by warranty, and they smell and they just go after it. And we have wonderful sales for Renewed as well. And I would encourage every brand to do that.
No, I think that's very interesting. And I think all of us have to kind of become more responsible as business, because at the end of the day, we are causing more harm to the world than kind of benefits individually. And I think that's very thoughtful that one, you are planting trees as part of a part of your profit is going to planting trees. You are taking products back and then kind of selling it or giving it to the customers or consumers who can use it more like a product which is as good as new. These are very thoughtful initiatives. Very, very interesting. Now we have already crossed time. One last question, and then we'll be done. And I know that I've got many more questions that I have with myself, and there are questions that I've got from audience. But I think we can only take as much as we could. So the last one is, what's your strategy for the brand for next 2, 3, 5 years? Is IPO on card? International or global market share kind of increasing to a larger level on card, and what more innovations can we expect in terms of product that you are bringing to the world?
Yeah, I think our strategy is very simple: to continue to give better quality and better products which make life simpler, and promote healthy cooking at home. I think that's my clear strategy. There's nothing else. An IPO or a fundraise is a financial strategy. That's nothing to do with the consumer strategy. I'm always more impressed by and more focused on consumer strategy, and do whatever it takes in terms of financials to raise the funding. That is not an issue. But I think the consumers are changing, and as I said, two big forces of social media and OTT have made our life far more busy. And also we have these apps which make food delivery so easy, and we cannot understand today the bad impact on health that these easy food deliveries are causing. I talk to the consumers and they say कि बच्चे डाइनिंग टेबल पे अब खाना खाते ही नहीं है, यू नो, खाने का टाइम अगर नाश्ते का टाइम सुबह 8 बजे है, so they will be sleeping because they know that they can order something and delivery 10 बजे आ रही होती है. डिनर टाइम अगर 10 बजे है या रात के 8 बजे है, तो वो कुछ 7 बजे डिलीवरी में मंगा लेंगे, बिकॉज दे वांट टू ऑलवेज हैव टेस्टी मील्स, एंड दे हैव स्टार्टेड पुटिंग ऑन वेट. And you know, weight is the biggest killer. Obesity is the biggest killer in life. Every disease, lifestyle diseases that India is capital of, obesity, heart disease, angina, diabetes, it is caused by wrong eating. So I think these delivery apps, of course, they are celebrating their billions, but I can tell you it's not a good thing because it is destroying healthy cooking at home. And as Indians, we have such a rich culture of home cooking. और इसीलिए आप देखते हो कि हमारे घर जैसा खाना रेस्टोरेंट्स में नहीं मिलता. You know, in the West, you can get the same salad outside that you put in India. The same steak that you make at home, you can get outside also. But in India, घर जैसा खाना बाहर नहीं मिलता है क्योंकि घर के खाने की बात ही अलग होती है. So I think that is the biggest challenge we have in front of us as a brand, as an industry, to make equipment which makes healthy cooking at home easy.
Super. So, wishing you all the very best for your journey ahead. There are a few things that I'm going to do is that obviously I'm going to go and buy, Nutri Blend to kind of see how it makes my life easier to make
Yeah,
juices.
I was hoping you will say you will buy Chef Magic, but yeah, start with NutriBlend.
Obviously, I think that's one thing that I would for sure want to do because juices is what I have at least twice a day. So how it can make my life easier, that's one thing. And obviously, would be very keen on trying more products. And whenever I'm in Mumbai or you are around, would love to catch up with you. I'll catch up with your teams also because there's a lot to learn from the brand that you have built. Congratulations on building such a great brand with a lot of persistence. Great. And obviously the beautiful team that you've got around. Thank you so much for joining in, everybody, for this coffee chat. Until we connect again for the next one, thank you so much. Ravi, thanks again. Parting words, and we are good to go.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me. It's not always easy to listen to somebody else, and everybody stayed around. So I think Kapil was very interesting, and I did my best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You
Bye.
have a good evening ahead. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.